Hi, Steve Beecraft here, playing the Texas ATSSB Junior High School Year C clarinet music. And when we're playing that last selection, the English hymn, we want to strive for a very legato style of playing. And what does that really mean? Basically, it's going to mean very smooth and very connective playing. So some of the things that you need to think about with that. Your air should never stop. Your air should always show the direction that you are headed in the music. The air should always lead us forward. Another thing about the legato style of this is how you will interact with the reed. We need a really, really light touch and release of the reed. So we go to the reed and we just very gently release it. We never want to think about hitting the reed. It should always be thinking about release of the reed. You might even try playing this excerpt all slurred and just see how smooth you can make the air. See how connective you can make all of the register changes. And then after you do that, add in a very light legato touch with the tongue and see if that has helped. See if you can do that without changing anything that you've done with your air. Now, another thing that's going to make this particular piece of music and just about anything sound more smooth is to have a really clean and responsive register change. So let's look at a couple quick things that will make a difference with this. There are four big things that go into making a clean register change on the clarinet. One of them is your left index finger. How do you move back and forth from the first tone hole to the A lever and back again? How cleanly can you do that? Can you press the key, the A key, very low? Can you do it without your finger traveling all around? I like to try to keep a nice line between my fingernail and the A key. If I look down the horn, I want to see a nice line right there. So we have to have a really nice left index finger technique. Okay, of course, something else, our air. Our air needs to do its thing no matter what we're playing. And on clarinet in particular, it can be a challenge because of the resistance changes that we get when we change registers. When we're playing A, that might feel fairly easy and free to play, but when our fingers add to the rest of the horn for a B natural, that becomes a lot more resistant. So our air has to be able to plan ahead and know that that resistance change is coming, either direction, both up or down. And when we encounter the resistance change, we shouldn't do anything different. We should basically blow the same kind of air delivered from our abdominal muscles the same way no matter what we're playing. Something else that comes into play here is our embouchure. And basically we need to keep all of these muscles engaged with the embouchure. We need to keep them completely the same, interacting with our face and our mouthpiece. So just a couple little thoughts about embouchure in general. We're going to hug our teeth with all of our muscles around here. We're going to point our chin a little bit. We're going to bring that clarinet up and in. And then we are going to really try to grab the sides of the mouthpiece right here to the sides of the reed. That's what I'm going for, right there. In on the teeth, into the mouthpiece. And when I play register changes, I want to keep doing that the entire time. When I encounter resistance change from registers, I don't want my embouchure to loosen or tighten. I want it to be the same all the time. Another thing that can make a big difference to smooth register changes is the voicing, or another term for it would be just tongue position. What does your tongue do while it's inside your mouth? And we find that when we play register changes on clarinet, the resistance change that we've talked about might encourage your tongue to do different things inside your mouth. We really need to find a way to have a good home base of tongue position and strive to keep it that way as much as possible. So let's get a little deeper here into voicing and how it can impact the next musical excerpt that you have to audition on this year. So the excerpt that I just played, the Moderato number 5, that has a lot of much larger leaps, doesn't it? We're going up and down, switching registers on the clarinet quite a bit in this. And we're going to find that we have trouble with that if our tongue doesn't hold its voicing position. So let's do a quick review of a couple specifics. So when you were a beginner, hopefully your teachers had you do something that helped you find a healthy embouchure and tongue position together. We do this where we play on just the mouthpiece and the barrel, and we have a certain pitch we want to be able to play in tune. That's the concert F sharp. So without going to a piano, I'll just play it on the clarinet. Okay, let's test that. Can I do that on the mouthpiece and the barrel? That's what I want. I want that concert F sharp. So that helps you find how high your tongue should be and a good, healthy, firm embouchure. So in general, from that point on, I'm just thinking very high, very forward, perhaps the vowel E. E makes your tongue go quite high in your mouth. Maybe you want to find it by saying key, K-E-Y. The K really, the K syllable helps your tongue get up quite high, and you contact your upper molars with the sides of your tongue, key, and then the E part, of course, keeps you up and forward. When I'm playing clarinet, I'm not going to try to stay in contact with my molars the whole time. I'll use key to find a zone, and then I'll just very slightly release the K part, release my teeth, and play that way. And that is a good, consistent, high and forward tongue position. As far as staying forward, you might try to keep the tip of your tongue right there in the vibrating zone of the reed, almost where you're worried you might brush the reed. So you might try playing some repeated notes. I might try an open G and just play some very light, repeated legato touch and releases and feel where that reed is, and then just hold steady and see how close I can stay to the reed. That is a good, healthy tongue position that we want to maintain. So let's work towards some of these leaps in the last musical excerpt that I played. Let's do a little exercise first. We can use your scale page. We're going to use your B flat major scale. So that's scale number 5 on the scale page. Concert A flat, your B flat. And we're not going to play the whole scale. We're going to start on the tonic, or the first note of the scale. We're going to add the register key. So we go up to F. And then we're going to come down the major arpeggio. The major arpeggio within a scale includes the tonic, the third of the scale, and the fifth of the scale. So we'll go from B flat up to F, then we come down D, B flat, F, D, home to B flat again, like this. Go ahead and get out your scale page if you haven't already. Maybe you want to circle those notes you're going to play. Stop the video, play through that. Okay, now you've done that. Let's check it one more time, and your most important goal now that you've played the correct notes, is to make sure that your tongue stays high and forward in your mouth all the way. The very first note, you're checking in with your home bass, key, E. Okay, very high in my mouth. When I add the register key, I don't want to do anything else. Just keep my air delivering nice and steady right at the reed. Just add that register key. And when I come down, I have to resist the urge for my tongue to go down as I play down. I want my tongue to keep leading things up. And in fact, maybe you need to think about every note that you play moving up and coming out from between your eyes. It doesn't really, but sometimes you have to play a little game with yourself to make the clarinet do what you want it to do. So I'm trying to make my sound feel like it's coming from here, no matter what's happening around here. We're going to try that one more time. All right, did your tongue stay up and forward the whole time? If not, do this a few more times until you think that you can keep your tongue in place. Maybe you even want to make it harder. Go back and forth in the toughest part of it, between the B flat and the D. If you can hold embouchure steady, keep your air steady, and keep your tongue up and forward through that, you're on the right path. The other leapy part that is the most challenging for many of you in this etude, or this excerpt, is measures 9, 10, and 11. That's where it gets so leapy. So the main thing that you've got to do is, of course, keep your tongue in place. Keep high and forward. Maybe you want to practice it like this, where you play one of the registers, you pause and remind yourself to stay in place before you play the next one. So you'll practice it with a bunch of pauses for now, kind of like this. And of course, I want to end with that high B flat at the end. So I'm playing. Think, am I in place? Think, am I in place? You get the idea. It seems a little bit slow going to begin with, but you just need to give yourself the positive instructions before you play. After you do that a few times with pausing and planning ahead, maybe you can do several at a time. Maybe reset there. Reset, etc. Pretty soon, you're playing it all the way through. I hope that these tips can help as you prepare your all-region music. For lots more information, you might want to check out my video about changing registers. And thank you for watching.